picture.
Careful, you might get ice cream on your clothes.
Oh my gosh, Jake, it's a snow bunny. Let's go take a picture. Come on. Jake!
Oh, come on!
Easy there, Tiger. You're about to taste more static than this popcorn. That television is not a chew toy, you know.
It's just way too obvious something's gonna happen. All they have to do is open that freaking main door and run away to safety. Why do all the horror movie characters have to be this stupid?
I couldn't help but laugh at Jake's rants. Just look at him, getting offended over a movie? Well, if they had common sense, these movies would be over in 12 minutes tops.
These vampires are supposed to be terrifying demons of the night, but why do they always make them look like a dirty old man with arthritis and overgrown dentures who uses too much hair gel and baby powder?
Babe, chill. If you don't calm down, you might end up looking like that vampire. Jake burst out laughing at what I'd said.
Okay, you got me. I'll get us more popcorn.
Oh my gosh, did you trip over nothing? I was about to help him up when he suddenly started doing push-ups.
What are you talking about? I just suddenly felt like doing push-ups.
I rolled my eyes as Jake jumped back to his feet like nothing happened. He then went to the kitchen and prepared another bowl of popcorn. My eyes went to his pantry, and I grimaced at the sight of junk food all over the place. Maybe your newfound clumsiness is a result of your awful diet. I'll call my chef to make you a stock of healthy stuff. Jake hurled exaggeratedly.
Are you talking about the things you made me eat when I was recovering from Leonard's attack? Seriously, I would take another vampire punch than eating that awful vegetable gunk again.
I squinted my eyes at him. Are you complaining about the way I took care of you?
Who told you that? Marion's tender, loving care is the best experience of it all.
The memory of Jake being injured flashed into my mind unexpectedly, and I felt a pang of guilt slice through me. You got injured because of me. Taking care of you is the least thing I could do.
Wipe that frown out of your pretty face. I was attacked by that maniac vampire because of what I did. It's not your fault that I got injured, so please stop being guilty about it.
But I am the reason why.
Listen to me, Marion. I won't hesitate to take that supernatural blow many times over just to save you. Bleeding will stop, bruises will heal, and broken bones will mend back together eventually. I'm a strong man. You gotta give me some faith, you know?
Jake really had this magic to assure me everything's gonna be okay, so I finally smiled. Give you some faith? It took only one punch to take you down.
Hey, that fight was totally not fair. I was hit by a freaking vampire with superpowers. It was like being hit by a train.
Smiling, I hugged Jake sideways. Thank you, Jake. You've saved me countless times since we were kids. You didn't change, even after years of not seeing each other. I'll be forever grateful, and I promise to give you the best and most tender, loving, Marion care for you as long as I live.
Is that a proposal?
I quickly moved away from him with my face on fire. I just realized what my words actually sounded like. What? No. We just literally started dating again, and...
Relax, I'm just kidding.
Smiling, I turned my head and my eyes caught a mirror. I flinched at my own reflection. Seeing my real appearance still makes me jump. Sometimes, I miss the unique streak of white in my hair and my two-colored eyes. As my thoughts started to drift away, a devastatingly handsome face with skin like marble flashed in my mind. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Is everything okay? You look so pale.
Sorry, I drifted. What were you saying?
I was asking if you're free next week. Maybe we can go out and unwind a little, you know? Enjoy some cool breeze at the park.
Like Wonderful Park?
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Of course, it's my idea. My ideas are always the best ideas.
Hold it right there. The park part was my idea, so I'd get 50% of our great idea.
Jake, wake up! Anyone, please help!
Jake's condition is something we have never seen before. He's 23 years old, but his test results showed otherwise. His internal organs are of a person in his 40s.
I'm sorry? How is that even possible, Doctor? There must be a mistake, right?
We will run more tests for confirmation and further investigations. My colleagues and I are doing... That would be all, Miss Marion. If there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to call the nurse station.
Thank you, Doctor. Take care on your way out. I knew something wasn't right with you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked you to go to Wonderful Park. It was my foolish idea and you suffered because of me. Jake! Oh, thank God you're finally awake. How are you feeling right now?
I'm fine. I'm just a little weak. Don't worry too much and stop crying.
Is that all? Nothing else feels different? Jake wiped the tears off my face with a smile. I forced myself to regain my composure so that he wouldn't worry about me. The doctor said your internal organs are aging rapidly.
That's ridiculous. My results probably got switched with an older dude because there's no way.
I stared at his carefree expression. He's right. The doctors must have made a mistake, but I don't know why I still feel restless. Still, I forced myself to smile. You're right, but we'll have to wait for the final results. Anyways, is there anything you need?
Actually, there is.
Jake stared at my lips, and my heart jumped. Is he seriously thinking about a kiss in this situation? It's not a good time for that, Jake.
It's not what you think, silly girl. I just need you to go home and get some rest. You look too exhausted.
But...
Don't worry about me. I'm sure my parents are on their way. We'll keep you updated. Just get a proper meal and sleep, because I won't like it if you end up being my hospital roommate. Trust me, hospital gowns would look horrible on you.
Okay, you silly tiger. You got me with the last one. The door opened, and Jake's parents stepped inside the room with a worried look.
Oh, there they are. Hey there, Mom and Dad. How's it going?
The worry on Mr. and Mrs. Donovan's face immediately faded in relief. They immediately approached us with a smile. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Donovan.
Hello, sweetie. Thank you for taking care of Jake. We'll take it from here. Go and take a rest.
Don't forget to eat properly before sleeping. Take care on your way home, kiddo. Tell your parents we said hi.
Got it, Mr. Donovan.
Give me a call when you're home. Thanks for taking care of me.
You're welcome, Jake. I'll be back tomorrow. Good night. I waved goodbye to everyone and then turned to leave. Jake blew me a goodbye kiss as I went out the door. Grinning, I pretended to catch the flying kiss and gave him a wink before closing the door. Gasping for air as if I was drowning. I could feel my face, pale and full of cold sweat. My heart was racing painfully inside my chest as I struggled to move and blindly reached out for my phone in the nightstand, almost knocking off the lamp. When I found it, I forced myself to sit up, then immediately dialed Jake's number with my trembling hands. Jake's phone rang, and it rang for a long time. Each ring felt like a heavy blanket of anxiety that was slowly engulfing me into panic. The continued ringing stopped, and I suddenly heard a voice.
Hello?
Jake, are you okay?
Babe, it's been, 3 hours since you left? Do you miss me that much already?
I needed to hear your voice.
But seriously, babe, try to get some rest, okay? Everything's fine here, I promise.
Jake's assuring voice works like magic, but not tonight, not after that nightmare. But then I can't let Jake worry about me, so I forced myself to sound cheerful. Okay, if you say so. Hearing your voice made me sleepy. Nighty-night, Tiger.
That's the spirit. Good night, babe, and dream of me tonight.
Oh, Jake, if only you knew. I took another deep breath, but the anxiety I'm feeling is getting worse. My eyes slid toward a cabinet that I purposely isolated at the very corner of my room. Then I slid off the bed and went straight to the cabinet. I opened a drawer and rummaged inside until I found what I was looking for. It was the locket Magnus gave me. I never had the chance to give it back to him, so I buried it in the depths of my cabinet instead. I never wanted to see this thing again because it wasn't fair for both Jake and Magnus. But I know that there is something wrong going on, and there is only one person who can give me an answer. I took a big breath and composed myself. Then, without hesitation, I pressed the locket. I held my breath, preparing myself for the moment I'd never thought would ever come. Seeing Magnus again. Every second seems like forever. My heart beats faster and louder in each second that's passing by, as every beat pulsates Magnus's image in my mind. And then... Magnus? I looked down at the locket, staring at it for a moment while still feeling reluctant. After another deep breath, I pressed it again, harder this time as I closed my eyes. Still nothing. Frustratingly, I pressed it again and again and again. And finally, I stopped and opened my eyes. It seems like the pendant has lost its magic. I stared in shock. Could it be that Magnus has already severed his connection to this locket? Realization started to sink in, and the glimmer of hope in my heart faded. I hugged the pendant close to my chest as tears fell down from my eyes. Is there really nothing that can be done? Suddenly, Jake's image flashes through my mind. He's smiling and looking at me with his ever-comforting eyes.
Don't worry so much, babe. Everything's gonna be all right.
Suddenly, I felt fire rising from my heart. A fighter has risen from the inside. I wiped my tears and stood up. Then, I went straight to my closet, grabbed a coat and a hat, and finally, I grabbed my car keys on my way out. It was still the middle of the night when I drove my way towards Magnus's mansion at full speed. The trees turned into a ghostly blur as I sped through the forest path. I've never driven my car at this speed, but I feel like it still wasn't fast enough. A rumbling sound broke my focus on driving. Then, I felt my car's speed decrease until it finally stopped moving. Confused, I pressed the accelerator, but nothing happened. Then my eyes went to the gauge, and I groaned. Oh, come on! I was in so much of a hurry, I forgot to stop by a gas station. Are you kidding me? I opened my car door, stepped outside, and kicked the front wheel. The sound of the evening forest suddenly filled my ears. I raised my phone and turned on the flashlight. Then, without hesitation, I started walking in the middle of the road. I didn't know how long I had been walking, but when the rush of adrenaline faded, it started to dawn on me about my current situation. Alone, walking in a dark forest pathway in the middle of the night. A scattering flock of crows seemed to watch above as I walked carefully into the deserted road. The sound of my footsteps blended into the eerie sound of the forest and the cracking voices of crows. My nerves are starting to rise, but I try not to let it get to me. Oh, Jake, if only you were here, you would have stopped me. Minutes had gone by, and through the mist, I finally saw the tiny dots of subtle light at the end of the long forest pathway. It was from the stone lamps in front of Magnus's mansion. I kept on walking, but the crows seemed to get closer and closer, their unpleasant sound getting louder and sharper as if a warning to turn around, to run, and never look back. But I kept on walking. The darkened clouds shifted, slowly covering the moon. Then, a bolt of lightning struck the sky, and a deafening sound of thunder roared. I flinched as I put my arms around myself to calm my nerves. Another thunder rumbled, and suddenly, a violent sound of flapping wings rustled through the sky. As I looked around, I noticed the crows were getting closer. I couldn't help but take a step back as their caws grated into my ears and their menacing eyes bored into mine. Little by little, more crows arrived. Each arriving crow perched closer and closer. In just a couple of seconds, they have started to overwhelm the surroundings. Everywhere I look, I see no way out. Panic and fear finally took over me, and I cried out,